Your friends, folks. Remember who your friends really are. And yes, when you have a wake and you have a funeral, you meet lots of people. And you may meet a lot of people who you know. But that doesn't mean they are your friends. It also doesn't mean that they are bad people. It just means they aren't your friends. They may masquerade as a friend or someone who's more valuable to you than what you think. But the big thing that we take away from part 2 of this series is that when we have wakes and we have funerals, we can get swept up in the hullabaloo of it all of this apparent esteem coming our direction, all of the attention that comes with a wake, all of these people that I met. It's like you're a famous person. It's like you're a celebrity. All these people coming up and shaking your hand. Oh, you must be Mattie's son. Oh, you look like Mattie. I'm sorry for your loss. It's like you're a celebrity for a few days. And then when the few days pass, your celebrity status disappears like a fart in the wind. And then it's back to square one again. And when you're back to square one, you have a look around and see, who are my comrades in the trenches when I would really need to go to war? Who are my people? Are my people those folks who came in and said, I'm sorry for your loss, and then pissed off out the door? Are your comrades the people who came to your wake or funeral of your loved one out of obligation or duty, or because they are a gossip, or because they're looking to have a look around your house, or because they are looking news so they can go and tell their friends, or because they're bored out of their bollocks and they've nothing else to do? Are those your comrades who you're going to go to war with when the shit hits the fan? Wakes and funerals, they have their place in society. If you are highly religious, and perhaps you're one of these people who may struggle in the immediate aftermath of an important death in your life, I can of course see the value in a wake. For religious purposes, and from the perspective of an immediate lift. Of course I understand that. Same with a funeral, all of this stuff. But don't be deluded, folks. All these people that you will meet at such an event, or across a series of such events, please be aware that according to the Bandido, 90% of these people are not who you think they are. It doesn't mean they are bad people, but they are not your friends. Because we're going to be very literal about what a friend really is here. A friend is someone who truly values you, and a friend is someone who will offer you insurance should something go tits up in your existence. They will be there in the trenches with you, willing to help, no matter what. That is what a friend is, a true friend. How many people, when we go to wakes and funerals, fulfill that criteria? Not a lot. 10% at best. I think I'm being generous saying 10%. And so whenever something like this happens, folks, and it doesn't even have to be a death, you can apply this to your life in general. Please remember, folks, who your true friends are. You may meet a lot of people in your life. You may know a lot of people. You may have a lot of followers online. You may have friend requests coming on Facebook. But we've talked about this before, folks, on Bandido Talks. The show is called Bandido Talks. And here's the great irony in that name. Talk is cheap. Talk is meaningless without action that backs it up. I can say all sorts of things to all sorts of different people. I can make promises, verbal promises about this, that, or the other. But if I don't back up what I'm saying with legitimate action, the words are meaningless. And this is why I'm being so, we could say, critical of this garbage. I'm sorry for your loss. I'm sorry for your loss. Empty autopilot words that are flowing out of the mouth of someone whose brain is somewhere else. Empty talk. It's cheap talk. It's culturally appropriate talk that fits the scene. And anybody who is giving you cheap talk, and how do you know if someone's talk is cheap or if someone's talk is garbage? Look at their actions. Do their actions back up their words? Because you see, if their actions ain't backing up their words, they are full of shit. And they ain't the people that you think they are. And so when you're in trouble, there's no point in going to those people, because they have given you evidence in the past that their talk is cheap and it doesn't mean anything. And they aren't going to back up their words with legitimate action. Now, there are 10% of people across the last week that I have seen with my own eyes back up their words with actions. Those people have my respect. And those are people who I am far more prone to interacting with willingly. In this circumstance, I was reluctantly interacting with people. Why? Well, I've already said, because my mother is someone who I do value. Not because she's my mother. We talked about this yesterday. I know there's a genetic bond. She is my biological mother. That is true. But as I said yesterday when I was talking about Mattie being my biological father, my mother has to earn my respect. My father, Mattie, he had to earn my respect too. Both of them have to earn my admiration. And you see, if they don't, I don't care if they are my biological mother or father. I ain't hanging out with them. But you see, this is the thing. My mother has earned my respect. She has earned my admiration. She's my friend. She's one of the very few friends that I have. And so as a result, why was I even at the wake or the funeral of my father? I was there because I was signaling to my friend, one of my very few friends that I have. I was signaling and saying, look, I don't normally do these things, but I'm going to do this for you because I know it means something to you. So my signal was for her. It was directed to her. And I didn't just tell her. I didn't just talk. I backed up my talk with action. I went there and I actually did stuff that made her happy across the wake and across the funeral. My actions backed up my words. I wasn't full of shit. When I committed to doing this, I said, I'm going to give my best. Now that I've committed, I'm going to do my best. You will see through my actions. I don't even need to say anything to you. You will see through my actions if I'm full of shit or not. And that is what we want to remember here, folks. When we have wakes and we have funerals or we have events in general, people will say a lot of stuff. And you will know a lot of people. But remember, folks, just because you know someone, that doesn't mean they are your friend. That doesn't mean that they are a warrior who will go to the trenches with you whenever the shit hits the fan in your own life. It doesn't mean any of that at all. How do you know that you have a true friend? How do you know that you have someone who will be a genuine insurance policy for you? That when something goes wrong in your life, or whenever you need assistance with someone, that person will be there in the trenches alongside you, fighting the good war. How do you know this? It's very simple, folks. Listen to what they say and watch what they do. And if you see a contradiction between the two, then you should be revising the friend status that you are allocating to this person. If you have someone who is saying one thing, but their actions are not in accordance or in agreement with their words, then you have a bullshitter on your hands. And you have someone who is very likely to exploit you and to take more from you than what you are giving to them. That means you're being exploited. And trust me, folks, in a circumstance like this, when you have a very significant death that happens in your life, you will have people who will be sniffing around to exploit those who are involved. They will try to give signals that they are friends. They will try to masquerade as something they are not. And how do we sniff these people out? Sure, listen to what they say. All right, you're saying this. Well, let's see your actions. Do your actions fall in agreement with your words? And this is why it's so important to remember your friends, folks. Throughout the last 8 or 9 days, I have met a whole bunch of people, lots of people. I've shaken hands with a lot of people. A lot of these people I know, a lot of them I do not know. I have never seen them before. And always remember, folks, just because you know someone, that doesn't mean they are your friend. Just because someone follows you on social media, that doesn't mean they are your friend. Just because someone sends you a friend request, that doesn't mean they are your friend. And don't fall into the trap of getting swept up in the hullabaloo, all the attention, the celebrity-like status that comes from the passing of someone who is as well known as Mattie Lennon. Because you become the center of attention all of a sudden. And it's funny because it feels good. It feels good, doesn't it? When you've got thousands of people coming into your house, shaking your hand and putting the spotlight on you. As I've already said, it's like you are a celebrity. It's very seductive and addictive, actually. And what you don't want to do is get seduced by all of this, because 90% of these people who you are talking to do not care really about your circumstances. That doesn't make them bad people. But remember, folks, everybody in this life is fighting their own battles. They have their own life to live. They have their own things to do. And if you think that you are the center of everybody else's universe, you are a dipshit. You go into the dipshit category. Because reality check, you are not the center of the universe for most people. All of these people that you are meeting at wakes and funerals, I'm sorry for your loss. Oh, it's Tara, isn't it? It's Tara that Mattie has died. What's for dinner tonight? Chinese tonight, folks. Let's go have some celebrations. And then a week later, nobody's thinking about it. And so this is the thing. That doesn't make these people bad people. It makes you a dipshit for thinking that you are the center of the universe of these people. These people do not have you at the center of their universe. And if you fall into the trap that comes from wakes and funerals and all of the attention and all of the status and all of the esteem and all of the celebrity-like behavior that's being directed towards you, if you fall for this, folks, and you think, oh, look at all these people, these are my friends, they are not your friends. They are just people that you know. They are just people who live their own lives, have their own motivations and their own things to do. They may not even be there for a sincere, honest reason. There are only 10% of people who will be there, who are actually there for the deceased person, who are actually there for you, who at least qualify as a friend potentially, as someone that you would want to have beside you in the trenches. 90% are just there. They just exist in the moment. They are not your friend. And you're an idiot if you think they are.